You've probably been going to the gym for years, you know that you need to eat your protein, you know how to track your calories, you've done all the research on your training, you've got the program, you feel like you're in the gym all of the time, so why do you still not look like you go to the gym? Well, I'm going to help you answer that today, and I'm also going to help you move past the issue. My name is John, I'm a transformation focused coach, and I've been working online with my clients for over 2.5 years now. I've helped over 100 people get life changing transformations, all the way from people who just wanted to feel a little bit better in the clothes and on the beach, all the way over to clients who've competed in bodybuilding shows and won multiple trophies. So, most people who go to the gym consistently don't actually look like they train. And that's a sad fact. And I used to be the exact same. So 2.5 years ago, here was a picture of me. And then here was a picture of me only a few weeks ago at the exact same body weight. So the reason why most people don't end up looking like they actually lift, in simple terms, is they're just not committing to the phases that they say they're going to commit to. So what do I mean by that? For an example, if you put yourself into a fat loss phase and you either one, never actually complete the fat loss phase, or two, you get to the end of the fat loss phase, you lose the weight, and then by the time you've got to the end of that, you realize that you've got pretty much no muscle and no shape underneath the body fat, which means that you're not really too happy with the way that you look, and then you end up just going back up to where you were. Or you might have dieted for an event like a holiday, or going away with your mates, or a wedding, or something like that. And then again, once that's done, you've not really gone into another building phase afterwards, and then you've just ended up looking the exact same year on year on year. Now, again, I was stuck in this cycle for a very long time, and most of my clients are stuck in this cycle as well. And the problem is that if you never finish your fat loss phase, or you do finish it and then you never put yourself into a building phase, you're never giving yourself enough time to be able to actually build muscle and build your physique. Because the thing that a lot of PTs and online coaches won't tell you is that you don't build your physique in the fat loss phase. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're someone who's coming from a pretty high level of body fat right now, it's going to be a much longer process for you to be able to lose that fat, and you'll probably build a little bit of muscle, a little bit more muscle along the way. And you're also probably not going to need to go into a building phase because you don't want to be adding any extra fat. So you can still build muscle in a deficit, but it's still not going to be as efficient. And if you're someone who's not massively overweight, then realistically your aim should be to get in and out of fat loss as fast as you possibly can. So for most people, a 6 to 12 week fat loss phase, depending on where your body fat's at, aiming to lose around 1 to 1.5% of your body weight per week, getting yourself to a point when you're in that 10 to 15% range for blokes and around 15 to 20% for women, and then looking to go into a long, slow building phase of, I would normally recommend 20 to 40 weeks, because muscle takes a long time to build. Now, during that time, you don't really want to be adding any more than 0.25% of your body weight per week. So for myself, that's going to be about 0.4 pounds per week. I'm just reversing out of my photo shoot that I did 3.5 weeks ago, and I'm currently only gaining around half a pound a week. I feel great, I still look great. I'm going to be able to maintain this for probably the next 40 weeks or so, by which point I'll be around 180 pounds ish. I'll have built a lot more muscle and I'll look significantly better. And by the time that I do my next cut, I'll be able to look a lot bigger and a lot leaner, and probably even eat more food as well. If you feel like you're needing a little bit more guidance when it comes to the lean muscle gain, I've created the Lean Gains Cheat Sheet. Now, this is going to give you a choice of 3, 4, or 5 days per week of a program. That's all going to come with exercise trackers. It's going to come with video tutorials so you can make sure that your execution is good and that you're getting stronger every single week, so you can start to see some genuine progress inside of the gym. It's also going to show you how to eat, how to work out your macros, why you should be eating the way that you are there, rate of weight gain, and should you even be bulking right now is going to be a question that's answered as well. So that will be in the link below. If you do feel like you're needing a little bit more guidance, it's completely free. There is no sales pitch, there's no catch or anything like that. Just feel free to go down, download that, pick a 3, 4, or 5 day program that you can consistently stick to, and make sure that you're looking at the nutrition guide so that you can make sure you're gaining lean muscle without gaining too much fat. Number 2, why most people don't end up looking like they actually lift, is training. Simply, most people don't train hard enough. And that might sound really blunt, but it's just the truth. So regardless of whether you're in a fat loss phase or a building phase, you still always have to be training as if you're trying to build muscle. Because again, if you're a beginner or you're someone that's not been too consistent over time, you will be able to build muscle in a deficit. Again, if you're a little bit more experienced, which if you are, you probably do look like you lift, so you're probably not watching this video. Experienced, you probably won't be able to build very much muscle, if any, in a cut whatsoever. You'll probably actually end up losing a little bit if you do it a very aggressive fat loss phase. But again, that will come back pretty quickly when you go back into your higher food again. So don't be worried about losing a little bit of muscle, but you should realistically be able to maintain about 95% of it if you do a very aggressive cut. If it's just a short one, you're probably going to be okay. Those of you out there that don't look like you lift, but you've been going to the gym for months or years, it's probably because your training intensity isn't high enough. One thing that I see a lot of the time in the gym is when people are in a fat loss phase or a building phase, they'll be doing a shit ton of cardio, trying to keep themselves lean. They're not really focusing too much on their sets inside of the gym. And this fucks so many people over. Because if you're not training close to or to failure for every single set that you do, you're not going to be giving your body a reason to actually grow muscles. So I'll overlay a video over the top of this at the minute. It's probably already been overlaid by the time that I'm saying this. But you need to make sure that your final reps of the set are starting to slow down. So the concentric portion of the movement is the lifting phase. So for an example, on a chest press, you're going to be pushing away from you. If you're going to be doing a pulling movement, you're going to be pulling towards you. It's always the shortening or the contractile range of the muscle. So the way that we know that we're training close to failure is if that portion of the rep involuntarily slows down. You're trying your absolute hardest to get that weight up, to push as hard as you possibly can, but it slows down involuntarily. So you'll notice the videos that I'm putting over the top here at the start of the set, and again, go back and watch it if you need to. At the start of the set, you'll see that the reps on the way up, the contractile range, only take around a second for the rep to happen. The concentric of the rep only takes around 1 second to happen. Towards the end of the set, you'll see that it takes around 3 to 4 seconds. I'm trying my hardest, I'm pushing as hard as I possibly can, but the actual rep in itself is taking about 3 to 4 times as long. That's when I know that the set's over. Because if your final reps don't feel like a struggle, they don't feel painful, they don't feel difficult, they don't feel a bit shaky and a bit uncomfortable, you're not training anywhere near hard enough. If you can do the same amount of weight for the same amount of reps for 2, 3, or 4 sets, repeated consistently, you're not training hard enough. Your numbers should be going down. So what we need to be doing here is doing our warm-up sets, working all the way up to our heaviest weight that we're going to lift for the total of the day. So again, let's say for an example, you're doing a leg press and you're going to work all the way up to, let's say, 200 kilos for 6 reps to keep it simple. Then what you might do after you finish that set is you might keep it at 200 again, and then you shouldn't be able to hit 6 reps again. You should be able to hit 4 to 5 reps. If you wanted to go a little bit higher reps, you just drop the weight a touch, so you might go from 200 kilos to 180 and then just do some slightly higher reps. But again, you're making sure that you're doing the heaviest weight in your first set, because that is when you're freshest, that's when you have the most energy, and that is going to be the most beneficial part or the most beneficial set for muscle growth. The earlier sets in your training are the best for muscle growth because you can recruit more motor units, you've got more energy, your nervous system hasn't been very taxed. So the muscles that you train at the start of your session are always going to get the most attention. So for an example, if you want to grow your chest and you're doing an upper body day, start with your chest at the beginning of the workout. If you want to grow your lats, start with your lats at the beginning of a back day, like something like a single arm pull down. Isolate the lats first. If you want to grow your glutes, start with a glute movement at the start of your leg day. It's as simple as that. You have to make sure that you train in your priority muscles that you want to grow at the start of your workout, and make sure that every single set is taken to failure. For most workouts, you shouldn't have to do, especially for a leg day, any more than 10 sets for a full leg day. If you can do 15, 20 sets on a leg day, there's absolutely no chance that you are training hard enough. Most muscle groups only need around 6 to 10 sets per week. Train them spread out over the entire week as well, okay? So don't be training all of those sets on one day. So let's say, for an example, if you do 10 sets a week for your quads, which is well more than enough if you're training to failure, don't do all 10 sets in the same workout, because as the workout goes on, you're going to be extremely fatigued, you're not going to produce as much force, you're not going to grow as much muscle, and you're going to end up just causing a lot more fatigue. So if you were going to do that, split them out over 5 sets on one workout and then 5 sets on another. Or if you're doing 3 full bodies, you can split them out 3, 3, and 4. Sorry, 3, 3, and 3. So it's just about spreading them out and creating more frequency over the course of the week and not training one muscle group per day. Now, the old school bro split thing that everybody used to do, where you do your chest, your shoulders, you do your arms, you do your legs, and then you do your back. Please don't do that, okay? Those, yes, you can make results, but you're going to get much better results by training muscle groups twice per week, every single week. Spread that volume out over the course of the week, so the actual quality of the volume is going to be significantly better. This is highly researched, and studies show that you grow around 50% more muscle from training things twice per week as opposed to training them all in the same day. Now, the final problem for today is actually consistency. So consistency is one of the biggest problems that I see with a lot of you out there. And the reason why you need to make sure that you pick a program you can consistently stick to is because if you're chopping and changing it all of the time, then you're going to struggle to maintain or make progress. So make sure that you pick a program that you can stick to consistently. If that's only 3 days a week, that's perfectly fine. Most of the results that you saw at the start of my video here, we're only doing 3 sessions per week. You can 100,000,000% grow muscle only training 3 days a week. If you can do 5 consistently, 5 might work for you. 4 is generally the sweet spot for a lot of people because you can do some variation of upper, lower, upper, lower. I only personally do 4 days a week at the moment. I only do 1 leg session and then I do 3 variations of an upper body session. So it's an upper body, a push and a pull, but my legs don't really need too much work. But I've got the upper body of a 10-year-old boy, unfortunately. So I currently need a little bit more volume on my upper body. My legs don't really need to grow right now. And I'm doing a little bit of running on a Sunday as well. So pick a training program from the Lean Gains cheat sheet that I've mentioned in the middle of the video. Make sure that you can actually stick to that consistently and make sure that you can follow that program and that you enjoy it in the long term, because if you don't enjoy it and you don't progress every single week on those exercises, then you will not end up getting stronger and you will not end up looking like you lift.